Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check these headlines here. We got Ron Hammond and what's going on in Congress, and John Deaton as well. How about U.S. crypto clarity 2025? Somebody wrote that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.12 trillion market cap for crypto. We're off by 0.4%. Good afternoon, everybody. 23,200 plus for Bitcoin, off by 4% on the 7-day. Ethereum, 1622 and change, off by 3.4 on the 7-day. Tether market cap, 70.8 billion. Whoa. And 37 cents for XRP, off by 2.4% on a 7-day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not done it, get your ticket to XRP Las Vegas. Boy, they are going, and I'm pleasantly surprised there are this many tickets selling this early. But I tell you something, it is going to be a Cinco de Mayo weekend. Do not mess around. Make sure you get your flight, get your room, and by the way, you can do that here. Let me explain. You can get a ticket for the Friday event. You can get a ticket for the Saturday event. There's a link here for you to get a special discount for your room rate, but there are limited rooms discounted, so don't play around. Get a chance to rub elbows with John Deaton, Eleanor Tarrant, or even myself if you'd like. And we're going to have Jeremy Hogan virtually as well participate, and all of these amazing people as well. And there are more to come. Don't mess around, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see the conference guide and the proposed agenda? Click it right here, and you'll be able to download it and check it out and see everything that we're talking about. I'm telling you, this is going to be an event to remember because XRP holders have been through an incredible amount, and so have the people that are building the projects and the ecosystem on top of the XRP ledger. And it is going to be a 2-day celebration of everyone involved, no doubt about it. Make sure you're there. Let's take a look at this. Just in, Coinbase, ladies and gentlemen, Coinbase to suspend Binance USD stablecoin trading. Well, you can feel that wet blanket from Gary Gensler continuing. Gary Gensler asserted his opinion that all crypto transactions aside from Bitcoin fall under securities law. Lawyers tend to disagree. Oh, well, let me tell you, because Meta Lawman picks up on it right here, and I want to highlight it for all of us because you need to know what the narrative is that's developing here. Remember a couple weeks ago, we had Freddie Rispoli on here, and he told us that he has 2 lawsuits, one with Coinbase about getting all of our Songbird and Flare delivered to us because it's our property. And then the other lawsuit, he's suing the SEC, asking the court to declare that Ethereum is or is not a security. And how about that? And that is developing quickly. And shout out to Meta Lawman for highlighting that. And shout out to Fred Rispoli for taking up the fight on this. This is the state of things here. And we're getting ready to get an update from Congress as well. And remember, this was about 10 days or so ago, and we saw that the UK provides clarity on issuance of digital securities. We know that also, just to move through this quickly, the EU is pitching the region as open crypto companies and saying basically come here. The US is not giving you the clarity, and they have made it very clear because we went into this heavily this morning's video. If you haven't seen it, go watch that video. But they made it very clear that they were going to be providing clarity for, and if I could just, I have this written down the way that they said it, and I don't want to misquote the article because it was important that the way they said it, is that they were going to be providing clarity, basically, and I can't find the damn comment now. Isn't that the way it goes when you're recording? But nevertheless, the EU made it clear that they were going to make that a place where everyone could come to work and have the clarity they need to move forward with digital assets, blockchain, distributed ledger technology, crypto projects. So it is going to get competitive very quickly here. Where will the US be in all of this? We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to remind people that Ripple, I believe, is positioned brilliantly right here with the Ripple seeking the crypto license from last November, if you remember, in the Republic of Ireland, which would allow them to service the entire EU and all the jurisdictions inside of it. Now let's get the update very quickly here from Ron Hammond. This week in Congress and crypto, the crypto carpet bombing continues, he says. There are a number of regulators involved in this crackdown, but none more prominent than the SEC. Gary Gensler's aggressive approach has caused several Democrats to vocally express concerns. Let's dive in. Relentless. He says here, that's how best to describe the current regulatory crackdown. It seems like almost every day there is some sort of enforcement action, policy statement, proposed rulemaking, or notable speech. Many of these actions have vague language hinting at more to come. Everyone in the industry is reading the tea leaves of each action to see if and how it could affect their business. This exercise is exhausting, many times inconclusive in terms of finality. Many in the industry are now asking if they should just domicile somewhere else. This is what regulation by enforcement looks like, and sadly, this has been happening for quite some time. The intensity of the regulatory action has also irked several folks in Congress, including many Democrats, which is an important thing to monitor. He goes on to say here, in a split Congress, legislation is always hard to get across the finish line. The party in power does not want to give wins to the opposition. At the same time, the party doesn't control the presidency, always be on the attack to show the public they would do better. It is rare for the party in control of the administration to receive flack from their own camp. However, Gensler's actions have received public and vocal criticism from a number of Democrats, and the list keeps growing as he pushes forward. This could be problematic for him in the future. Some recent examples, Senator Gillibrand said 2 weeks ago, I have many concerns about Chairman Gensler and his approach to this crypto space. And then we hear another senator here basically penned a letter to Gensler calling for a transparent notice and comment regulatory process rather than status quo. One of the most damning lines came from the House Financial Services and Progressives Representative Ritchie, who bluntly said, my sense of Gensler is he strikes me as a politician pretending to be a regulator. There are others who hold this view in Congress but aren't as vocal. There are many more examples in the House, but the Senate Ds are important because they can cripple Gensler politically if he doesn't have all the Dems in his camp. They can block Senate confirmation of potential SEC or future nominations for Gensler himself. It says here, recall Gensler received 88-6 vote for his 2009 nomination for the CFTC. For the SEC in 2021, he received a margin of 53-45. While politics has gotten more partisan since 2009, and SEC is more polarizing role, it is apparent favor in the Senate that is not as strong for him. It says here, the last thing to keep in consideration is that the backlash from Democrats is just for crypto actions. There are a whole host of other areas where Gensler and the SEC are also being aggressive. ESG clawbacks, SEC staff union, and more. It says each fight has a political cost. Congress has several unique ways to accomplish policy goals outside of passing legislation. To have this many Democrats publicly calling out their own is telling. Question is, how long can this aggressive approach to regulation go until he becomes a political liability? Oh, boy, that's quite a statement. Ron, we thank you for the update. And then we have here, it's the one and only John Deaton going to tell you how it is. You think that it's not a difference, but you going and connecting to Congress and clicking right here and then connecting to Congress, it's very easy to do. I've done it, and so many thousands and hundreds of thousands or more have done it now. Go connect with Congress and listen to what he says here. This is so important. Shout out to John Deaton.
Just so people know, on Crypto Law, on my site, there's a similar direct to Congress tab that they're talking about. And let me show you. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's never going to make a difference. But the campaign that we did on the Hinman speech and all of that led to Congressman Warren Davidson in a live hearing with his SEC enforcement director under oath. He literally asked him, did the Hinman speech get SEC ethics clearance? Now, of course, the SEC enforcement director misled everyone and said, oh, I can't answer that question because of pending litigation and all the bullshit answer he gave. But the point I'm making is, because of the campaign that we led, because we sent 75,000 messages to all congressmen and senators, that question got asked. And the other comment I would make is that you hear a lot of people say, when we get regulatory clarity from Congress, I hope to be proven wrong. I will be the first person to eat these words, and I'll eat them with great pleasure. But there will not be legislation, in my opinion, that gets passed by both the House and the Senate, signed into law by the president before 2025. And so all we have is the tools that we're talking about to try to raise our voice to get these politicians to act. And I think that the election of 2024, it's a presidential election, it's midterm elections as well with Congress. I think crypto is going to make an impact. And so we have to play the long game, because I really don't see legislation coming down anytime before June of 2025. That's my personal opinion. I hope I'm wrong. But, we either can sit back and complain, or we can try to take some kind of action that we take. That's right. And these companies are not going to do it. When I joined in the lawsuit, a lot of people were like, why are you doing this? Ripple has all the greatest legal team in the world. And I said, Ripple is in it for Ripple. If the SEC offered Ripple an incredible deal that was great for Ripple, that was shitty for XRP holders, Ripple has an ethical obligation to their shareholder to do what's best for Ripple, not XRP holders. And so I don't care what company it is. Coinbase is going to do what's best for Coinbase. That's why they delisted XRP, because their lawyers told them, hey, you should not piss off the SEC anymore, delist it. And so we have to assemble, organize, and speak for ourselves.
It's so well said, and such great points by John Deaton, and he is the guy who is our voice. Go connect to Congress. And if I could just go back here before we wrap, because I think this is so important here, is that we have to understand what really went on here, because there was something big that happened here. And if I could find it, I believe it is in this. Let me just pull this up very quickly. So here it is right here. And it's this section that I want to read to you that really, really sets the tone to exactly what John Deaton is saying. And as frustrated as every one of us are about not having clarity for crypto, keep this in mind. Ripple and XRP are further along down this legal path than any other asset in the entire crypto space. For it says here, as a reminder from James Murphy here, the SEC has moved to dismiss the case. Its motion. The SEC makes this startling statement against Fred Rispoli's firm, Hodl Law. It says, Hodl Law's own allegations make clear that the SEC has not reached a final decision about the Ethereum network or Ether. Wait, what? This is astounding. In other words, to the point that I just made, Ethereum's not out of the woods either. And I would reckon if the SEC remains in the power and control of Gary Gensler, no matter what he said about Bitcoin, that may not be either. That's going to do it for me. It's not financial advice. It's just my digital perspectives. We still got a ways to go. I'll catch all of you on the next one.